Hey Aquarius, how you doing? It's your girl Ruth. Welcome back to another interesting topic. Everybody new. Thank y'all for coming. Those that been rocking with me, thank y'all for coming back. I really appreciate it. As y'all can see by the title, blood type, don't marry yet. And the reason why I said that, I was thinking about some things my mom had said that I didn't listen to and I didn't stress on. What she said when before they can get married back in the day, they had to get a blood test done for not only for compatibility, but for the diseases might be in that person's blood. That could affect the children. So I don't know why they stopped that. You know, and then you also have to consider what type of person that is. If they're compatible with you, because if they're a wanderer or narcissist, you got to have kids like that. Because I know one type of set of kids my mama had. Uh, his kids are just like him, wanderers. Just go. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of things you got to consider. So we're gonna talk about some of that, and we're gonna talk about the blood types are A, B, B, and O. And then there's also RH positive, RH negative. That's with every blood type. Okay. It's very important to find out yours. They give us a hard time, y'all. I'm gonna tell you now. You might have to pay for it, but I wish they had a machine. If anybody know a machine that you can tell your blood type, please let me know so I can order it, okay? Because that's very important because we're having problems here. My grandson had been having seizures, and I've been trying to get his blood type ever since he went to the hospital and his doctor, but they're giving my daughter a hard time. She finally got hers after so long, and I had to wait years to find out mine. So yeah, so let's get started. So the Rh positive, they call it Rh positive because the proteins are in the red blood cells, but the Rh negative do not have proteins. Okay, and then a Rh negative is incompatible. Compatibility happens when the mother's blood types conflicts with that of the newborn child. It's possible for a mother's red blood cells to cross into the placenta or fetus during pregnancy. When this occurs, the mother's blood cells develop antibodies that can attack the newborn's blood cells and cause jaundice. Risk is higher near during delivery. So your baby can end up with jaundice, brain problems, okay? Mother negative blood type, baby positive, okay? Can be, okay, they say can be prevented within the early stages of the pregnancy and take a blood test. So if you don't know, if you're not having any problems, most people's not going to consider that, because there's no problem. So why would they even think about getting a blood test for their baby? Now that you're hearing me and other readers like me, now you know that's important to do and find out your partner who you want to be. So not only worried about, some people worry about looks and financial. Now you really have to dig off into it. Not only the pros and cons about the relationship. Do you match? Do you want kids? How many kids? Do you want kids? The career factor, the health factor. Is he gonna go to the doctor? Y'all both gonna get a checkup? How while he's in bed, can you handle that? All kind of questions like that. Now you got to worry about the blood type, which is very important, more than all of them. Okay, if found in RH immune, if they find it, immune globulin treatments administered about 28 weeks into the pregnancy. So if they find your pregnancy 28 weeks, then they can check it for you. If not detected, baby could have severe jaundice leading to brain damage. Okay, so those are things to consider if you're thinking about having kids. If you're not, you ain't got to worry about none of it. But other things you need to worry about with that partner, we're gonna talk about it. But it's common and treatable. Okay, they say it's common and treatable. Okay, so it's common. I don't like that word. If when the baby is born, they have yellow discharge of the skin on the eyes, okay? They treat it if necessary. So why would they not treat it? I don't know. Okay, they treat it through hydro and phototherapy, bio blankets, and other phototherapy equipment help the infant's body expel the jaundice. So okay, that's a great thing. But look at all the baby got to go through, all them tests and all that kind of stuff. Then I start thinking about, cerebral palsy. That's a brain disorder. You know what I'm saying? Is that the reason why? Because your blood type is not compatible with your mate? You know? I don't know if they ever considered that, but that might be an issue. You know what I'm saying? And then it's another one that I can't say the name of, y'all, but this one also, PVL, brain problems. So those are things to consider when you're picking your mate. The main thing. A lot of cultures do that. They pick their mates through that. I remember when me and my kids' fathers, my first two kids' father, we wasn't compatible because my second baby I had for him, the first one has his ways. Okay, it's a whole different story. And the negative. She's a good person. Don't get me wrong. He was a good person, but he had a lot of selfish ways and inconsiderate. She considered in the ways, like I said, she's sweet. She was my first. She helped me raise my kids and all that kind of stuff, but she still has some ways and the dependent type person. And he was like that too. He depended on others. Okay, so you got to consider that. And my second one, she has a trait of sickle cell. So he had the sickle cell in his bloodline. I didn't, but when we met, so that makes her have a trait of sickle cell anemia. So if she don't pick a partner, not picking a partner and care about the blood type, because her kids now, they were having issues when they were born, and so that means her and the father is not compatible. The first one had sugar, different stuff problems, and the second one, he's having different seizures and stuff now, you know, and that could be because they wasn't compatible. So if they go any further or she picks anybody else, if they're not checking the blood type again, and he has sickle cell in his bloodline, she has it. Their kids are going to be full blown sickle cell children, very sickly. Those are things to consider. Do you want sickly children? Do you want to be bothered with a sickly mate? I mean, I'm not condoning it, but those things to think about. Other cultures have thought about that. Okay, let's finish reading. Genotype compatibility sickle cell disease, serious medical condition with high rates. Geno AAAS sickle cell, A with A sickle cell in the blood, hemoglobin gene on the red blood cells. AC is rare, whereas AS and AC are abnormal. So, then you got, like I say, you got to worry about that. This is advice they give. In marriage, AA should marry AA to save your future children from genotype incompatibility diseases, sickle cell, and other things. Then, like I said about my grandson, the seizures he's having, the epilepsy, then the schizophrenia. Now, my son that I had for my husband, you know. So we weren't compatible either when I did, marry and not thinking still didn't do the blood type. Now my sons have mental issues. Then what about psoriasis, emphysema, the skin disease, you know? That could be as a result of the blood. Those are blood problems, you know? So it's incompatibility. Then nightmares, you know what I'm saying? And that's a brain issue. Then narcissists, we'll talk about that with the blood, comparing the different blood types. So then you got to worry about that, you know. So that's a lot of stuff we need to consider. So the cure for the sickle cell is bone marrow transplant, BMT. Then your baby got to go through all of this kind of stuff. You know what I'm saying? So then you got, and then to help prevent it, it's very expensive, a lot of medications. Then you got to worry about, are you and your husband compatible? Can y'all give the bone marrow or the other kids that you have? And then if not, is family members willing to do it? Is friends willing to do it if they're compatible? Or then you got to get a donor. That's a lot of money. You know what I'm saying? And then the baby's suffering the whole time, you know? So you got to consider all that kind of stuff when you do it. And then the bone marrow, that's no walk in the park. That other person could really be messed up. And it's going to take a while for them to get that bone marrow back into their bones, because they have to go in a procedure inside of the back and the spine and stick a needle inside the back because the bone marrow is in the bone. That's a lot for a person to even commit to. You know what I'm saying? Okay, let's finish reading. Advantages of being an Rh negative. Good thing about being Rh negative, you don't have to worry about viruses or parasites, but you still have to watch your diet, okay? Okay, Rh negative may be related to reptilians and gods. So now people don't believe that, but we're gonna read a little further, and I'm gonna tell you why they need to really read. Okay, Okay, it says, but this blood type Rh can fight child's blood if positive, and child can die, called your baby can die, called hemolytic disease of newborn. So a lot of people having miscarriages and all that kind of stuff. That's because their blood types, their mates, they're not compatible. So you wonder why your child passed, or it could die inside of your stomach. I'm sorry, or something like that, because you're not compatible. Because mother and child are of different species. Okay, it could be the mother's blood type. So you have to consider that as well. It says Rh negative fights Rh positive. You know. So yeah, you have to consider all of that stuff. So them talking about uh might not be reptilian or some other gods or some type of alien blood. I think they need to really research a little bit more, don't y'all? So yeah, so then you got the Rh null blood, the rarest blood in the world, called the golden blood. It's absence of antigens. Then you got to worry about that issue, you know. Then it says blood type A is the most ancient, and it exists before the human species evolved from its humanoid ancestors. Okay, so what are they talking about? You know what I'm saying? So if there's not different type of blood than human, something is something. So you got to figure out, do you want to be bothered with that type of blood in your child? You know, and then that person has to worry about what type of mate they're getting for their child to have it. They say B is thought to have originated 3.5 million years ago from genetic mutations, so hybrids. A lot of us are, okay, don't panic. And they modified that by the sugar on the top of the red blood cells, okay, experimental, okay. Then, all the stuff you got to worry about. Mosquitoes love O and A blood. Just thought I'd throw that in there. Just different stuff. I thought I'd mention, like I said, about the nightmares and stuff. Do you want to go through all of that? Their family line might have karma from a long time ago, and their blood type. It's not a lot of ways you can tell, but if that person be open and honest with you, they can tell you what they're going through, or family members. And that's a chance that your child will have it as well. So, also it says about the, I'm sorry, Aquarius, through your side. It says the Indian, they go by this, your sun sign that can be compatible, but the Japanese, they like to do things a little differently. They use personality matching, and called whatever that word is that term which means analyzing a person's based on the blood type. So they get deep. The potential for even hiring employees compatible of people getting married. You know what I'm saying? So Japanese believe they should marry according to your blood type. Less problems. They ain't got time for all the disease and stuff. So they look for people that are going to be strong and healthy and do what they need them to do. Now you see, Japanese arrange their house. Okay, and they also arrange, they arrange their houses. I was wondering why. I want to get a picture of it. They arrange their houses in a way totally different, and I like it because it's like the parents' bed is open, the house is open, and the kids have their section, and then the parents have their section. The kitchen is sectioned off. So people would think that, oh wow, with your child this and that. But see, that's why they plan ahead of time, picking the right partner with the blood type, so they ain't got to worry about their child being all sickly and they got to check it through in the night and all that kind of stuff. What they probably check on their kids, but you know what I'm saying. So that's a great thing. Um, yeah. So the next one I want to do is compatibility of the blood type. So say for instance you're A type blood, a positive or negative. Your personality is sensitive, cooperative, emotional, passionate, clever, patient, loyal, loving, peaceful. You not like to get into fights, stuff like that. And you do have some negative. You get stressed, and you have to worry about your diet. You're kind, shy, attentive, stubborn at times, but you're polite, sensitive. You probably give in, reliable, overly sensitive, perfectionist, stuff like that. OCDs mostly have this type blood type too. Your bad qualities, obsessive, overly sensitive, stuff like that. Okay, but what if you? Okay, I'm reading a little about the negative. Negative you have to watch your diet as well because of the stress and your blood pressure and stuff like that. You have to eat right and your cholesterol, and Your sugar. You have to worry about your sugar, refined sugars, and you know what I'm saying. White flour, bread can't eat, only olive oil, different oils you can't mess with, artificial ingredients, um, because you can catch diseases of cancer, diabetes, anxiety disorders, cardiovascular disease. Now I have caught cancer, and I had a lot of anxiety, so I have to change my whole way of eating. And I can't eat beef, pork, lamb, cow's milk, potatoes, yams, sweet potatoes, cabbage, all the things I love, eggplant, tomatoes, peppers, because all of them trigger, melons, orange, strawberries, mangoes. I was washing my hair with all that. Chicken, turkey, all different types of meat, wheat bran, so you have to consider all that, your own self, and the person you're marrying, if they like to eat, different stuff. And they say most of the positive, they need to be a vegan because they have less robust immune system, prone to anxiety. So weight loss, less disease, more energy, better digestive will happen, less stress, no processed foods high in sugar. So you have to consider all that kind of stuff. You know. Then on top of that, then what if you happen to fall in love or get with a AB? So their traits are complicated, dual personality, shy, outgoing, um, like A and B, keep to their true personalities from strangers, want you to believe what they want you to believe, so they're gonna be lying, trying to play games. You know what I'm saying? Rarest in the world, charming, make friends easy. They might like a lot of people around them. Never dull, poor at handling stress. So they're gonna be tripping you out when they're in that mood. Careful if not watching their date. I mean their diet. See what they want to do. You know. I mean, not saying they ain't good people, but things you gotta consider. Then the negative part, they're complicated, vulnerable, irresponsible, self-centered, forgetful, unforgiving, critical. So those are things you have to realize. The good quality, they came to bring new ideas and new lessons, so they're always evolving. So that's a great thing, you know. But these are just things you have to consider. Then if you meet a B, very creative, quick decision makers, not good in taking orders, so they're not gonna listen to anything you say. They're very focused. They want to be the best at what they can do. Not good at multitasking, thoughtful, empathetic, not thoughtful, good and reliable friends. Face a lot of discrimination because of their negative traits, such as selfish, being incooperative. At times, they are loners because of what people think of them. So then you got to worry about that. Okay, then they wild, erratic, selfish, unforgiving, uncooperative, irresponsible, unpredictable. You see what I'm getting? And then good things about them, they are the ones who have come to simplify and enjoy life and harmonize the other blood types together into a cohesive, happy, massive consciousness. Now remember, my husband was a type after we started having kids. I had 2 kids when I met him, and he wanted when we I had babysitters for them, and I started having the kids. I had babysitters for a couple of them. I had 3 from him, but he still wanted to go out in the limelight. He still wanted to go party. He didn't adjust to the kids situation. So, we weren't compatible at all. Then what if you meet an O? They supposed to be on a different diet as well. Not a lot of meats. They shouldn't say that because the O's are the first ones, that were here on Earth, and they ate only quail and buffalo, and they only ate that like maybe once or twice a month. So they really need to research their diet. And a lot of them like to eat meat. They like to eat a lot. They like to work a lot, like the bees. And it's just a lot of things you got to consider because of that. You know what I'm saying? What type of partner? They excellent leadership capabilities. Little things do not concern them, and this makes them appear as selfish people. So are they gonna tell you what to do? You know what I'm saying? You gotta worry about that. They're cautious, patient, and peaceful, resilient, independent, trendsetters, but their negative sides are arrogant, jealous, rude, ruthless, insensitive, unpunctual, unpredictable, cold, selfish, centered. I'm not saying putting anybody down for the A's, and then they might call the A's pretty, too nice, too sensitive. Do you want to be bothered with somebody like that? Because remember, you got to have kids. Okay. They are the very enduring, you know, strong. Japanese call them the warriors because they honest people, hate liars, or hide the truth. So they straightforward, might put you down, talk about you. The ABs are critical, you know. So, you got to worry about all kind of stuff when you just considering a mate. When an RH negative woman, 5 to 10% of women, has a baby with a RH positive blood, this is called RH incompatibility. So problems the mother have the blood type her baby A and with a baby and stuff. Where the mother's blood precedes antibodies against the baby's red blood cells when mixed, cause miscarriages. Baby have anemia and severe jaundice. So those are just things they need to think about. And when considering a mate and stuff, I know bees I've dated, they were workaholics and they wanted to work so much they didn't want to stop and take a break. I remember a whole crew left, a friend of mine, and then he came by the house one day and he had this little case like a snuff thing full of beef jerky grinded up. He said with food his stomach into thinking that it's going to eat so it'll make his funny stomach be full you know. So I'm sitting there looking. So he finally got hungry enough, and he said went and got us something to eat. But he wasn't trying to do that tight. He wasn't trying to do that. That's another thing. You consider somebody who's tight. If you're not, all kind of things we gotta figure out. Are they, going to they self, and do you like to talk and they don't like to talk? So those are just some things I was thinking about. And another friend of mine, he um that I wouldn't talk to took his mate and locked her in the house. I said that must have been an A positive because they negative ain't taking that because everything getting burnt up. I'm getting up out of there, and when he come, I'm gonna be ready for him. So just some things you need to think about. Then if you got a dominating mate, you got to worry about the kids. Then they gonna be dominated on narcissists also, and they gonna come against you. Then you got to deal with all of that. That's why the Japanese choose the people they choose. Remember Michael Jackson's mom? The dad dominated her for years and programmed the children, you know. So just a lot of things that I thought about that I would talk about, y'all. And I hope y'all find it interesting, and I hope y'all could take something from it if you didn't know anything about it. And I appreciate y'all listening, Aquarius. And y'all take care and be safe. Would y'all like, subscribe, share, and comment? Any extra thing y'all want to know, especially if y'all know how we can find out our blood types, some type of machine. So okay, y'all. Until next time, find another topic that they want me to talk about. Okay, love y'all. Thank y'all for listening. Bye.